We're going to continue the day on with a brand new level 1. Has prestiged in the past, but this is likely somebody coming back to the game, which is what I have seen a whole lot of from many people, not even just in my community, but even like on the COD pages, other channels. There's a lot of people that are coming back to the game right now. Of course, with the anticipation of the new game. Campaign out. And multiplayer coming, but of course Warzone 2 around the corner as well. Does manage to land, gets himself a nice satchel. The build he's using is kind of wonky, but if this guy wins this game, I might drop 25 gifteds out to you guys. This is the recoil control is non-existent. I don't know if that was panic or what. This is something else that people were asking about when we were talking about even recoil control in general. This might be your problem right here. I'm guessing it's this, guys. You need to turn your sensitivity down, all right? Just because the best players in the game are playing high sensitivity if you're on controller doesn't mean you need to start there. Or if you are starting there, you need to go against some bots and actually practice hitting some of your shots. Now, maybe that was panic. Let's see if he can redeem. He's double bar threat. He actually switched over weapons, the Bullfrog and the XM4. Both quite good guns. I don't think they're necessarily best in the game, but I would say upper echelon in the viable category for sure. They should be able to win some fights. Although, this is the 42-round mag, or is he just... No, he just hasn't reloaded either of the guns. Triple threat. Let's see how he deals with it. Looks up into the sky. Typically, it's better to look at the players that are shooting at you and then shoot back at them. Would be my first piece of advice. But yeah, I'm guessing that guy's sensitivity was just probably not used to it. It looks very sporadic, very inconsistent. That's just like... Here's the thing, guys. If you can't even kill AI, if you're like, okay, I'm going to look at this wall, and you can't even look at the wall, you got to take a step back. You got to take a step back. No 25 gifteds as well. I should have bet 100. Yeah, you got to focus on the fundamentals first, okay? That's just baseline. You can't do that. How are you ever going to win a game? Pure luck. That's what it would be. And you can. You know, if you play enough games, this game has enough luck in it. Although, less luck now. They've done a lot to take luck out of the game. So then what is the best sensitivity? The best sensitivity is going to be subjective of where you are at. There was somebody in my chat yesterday, or maybe it was even the day before, he said his DPI was 1600 and his in-game sense was 10. His sensitivity was so high, like, I've never tried that, but just hearing those numbers for a mouse player is like, he just moves it a little bit. He's doing 360s all over the place. Way too high, bro. Now, it's going to be subjective to you as a player, what you get used to, but there is a certain range of, like, normalcy that I would try and stay within. My general rule of thumb is, first of all, take advantage of your mouse pad that you have. So, like, my mouse pad, for example, oh, that's a headshot. That sucks. But my full mouse pad is a 360. It's something I actually learned from X Factor, who's a professional Battlefield player. I met him at some events when I was first starting out playing Battlefield on PC. That was a good rule of thumb that I've incorporated in a lot of my games. But I also look at a lot of other players' sensitivities. There is validation to that, all right? I do want to validate you in some sense. If you have just looked at somebody else's sensitivity and tried it, you know, it's a good starting point. But use it as that. Use it as a starting point. Run it against some bots. Go into some fights. Like, even just practice aiming at some bushes. And then adjust from there. If you're overcompensating on people, if you're all over the place, just keep decreasing your sensitivity. I recently went back to playing on controller. And when I did that, I dropped my sensitivity down to 4. And I just started there. And then as I was like, okay, now this is too slow. I can't 180 and hit this guy that's behind me, even with dynamic turning on, which makes it so when you have the stick all the way to the right, you turn even faster, but you can still get those micro adjustments on the inside. That's what I would typically recommend using. Eventually, okay, I turned it up. Now I'm at like 6, I think is my setting for it. But it's still at a point where if I turn, like, I don't want to turn it up too high. Like on controller, typically you're trying to turn your sensitivity up. On mouse, you're typically trying to turn your sensitivity down, just so you can get more precision on mouse, but you can still use your whole arm and still get a crazy flick by just moving your arm. Whereas on controller, you really just get more in tune with those micro movements to control the subtleties of the stick, basically. Dynamic turning it's just a setting on the, I could show you after this guy gets out of his fight here. It's just the default, it's the aiming curve. It's called the aiming curve in the settings. 14 or 13 on controller. Some people go that high, man. And some people that also play that high use stick extenders. So their stick is extra long so they can still get the micro movements. It's basically increasing the length of it so you can get the more fine-tuned adjustments. Because especially for distance, like if you're sniping a lot, that's where it comes into play. And of course, we're disconnected again, man. No! Smash cut into the next game. All right, let's get a spectate in, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like we caught it just in time. Maybe this is the first landing here, but it actually wasn't. Tight Queen gets headshot out. That was off the redeploy, and Slinky does get the kill. Might have been the first one also off of a redeploy. It wasn't. That was the third kill on board. Vargo S in hand. Checks the heartbeat build. Sees if anything's inside as he gets a nice scavenger perk. We'll see what his secondary is. Hopefully when he swaps here. He's using the Gorenko with the Vargos. This is going to be a very long-range build. Gorenko is a phenomenal sniper because of how many shots you can take. Even if you miss the first one, because there's no rechamber on this sniper and it can still one-shot headshot, you just keep spitting bullets down range and you can eliminate. The biggest problem this guy's going to have is the close range. He should be... Actually, I don't even think you really need a 3x AR with the Gorenko because you can keep on taking those sniper shots. Kind of doubling up on some of the ranges here, but I want to see how well he keeps himself positioned to win the long-range fights. As he spots one come down the mountain, this should be an easy kill for him. Probably could have taken the shot there. Obviously, you do want the element of surprise, but you got a sniper. You're not going to likely challenge him up close. He did make it to the house. I don't know if he spotted it there. It was right in the middle of his screen, so he might have been looking uphill to the right still. He should be at the house. Of course, you're going to heartbeat from, you know, building that's 70 meters away. A heartbeat doesn't even go that far. What does he think? This guy's crawling through the rocks here? This leads a little bit to what you guys were even asking about situational awareness. And, like, do you got any tips for situational awareness? A big part of that is kind of reading your surroundings. And it's even kind of target prioritization. It's even understanding the map. Where are the potential plays? What are the tools? Even to what I pointed out there, the heartbeat sensor doesn't even reach that far.
Just had twins, and we have been watching you every day.
Hey, big love to you with that, my friend. Close range push here off the flank. Great anticipation of the third party, at least. Right, when you start taking some shots, this is definitely part of it. You got to be aware, hey, this other guy that was just up at the house there or up the hill very well might be pushing. They might be closing in while I'm distracted. Use that as a bait opportunity. That's why every time you see me sniping, I always turn around. He sees a guy right there. He didn't see it. He was looking at his heartbeat sensor. That was central screen as well. Stun comes in on him. Double stun. Third partied uphill. Already, of course, taking a lot of sniper shots, calling a lot of attention to himself, not rotating, staying in that same exact position after getting the kills. The other guy can also respawn on him, although this was a different person that we're now watching in with. But I guess bigger picture, if you are just situationally aware, there is a certain level of learning, like the target prioritizations that is like, you know, it takes a little bit of knowledge. But outside of that, if you are at least being... Is this game disconnecting again? Please don't disconnect. This guy go AFK? What's happening? Oh my gosh, dude. I don't think this game wants to spectate anymore. It takes some common sense. Yeah, but that's easier said than done, man. You know, when you're watching gameplay, it's really easy to be like, you know, oh, there's a guy up there. You take a shot, go check your back. That's where it's like when you're actually in the game and you're the person playing, I mean, I'm sure you guys have experienced this. There's a lot going on sometimes. It's like, ah, shoot, I got too tunnel visioned on a specific thing. If this guy wins this game, I might drop 25 gifteds out to you guys. This is, the recoil control is non-existent.